Live Aid 1985 is widely regarded as one of the best concerts of all time. There were two locations for this concert. You got Wembley Stadium and Philadelphia. I will just be covering the Wembley Stadium portion of that in this video. Live Aid 85 was essentially a ginormous fundraiser composed of some of the best musicians on the planet in order to fight famine relief and world hunger in African nations. Bob Geldof from the Boomtown Rats and Midge Ure were two of the ones that really led the charge more than anybody in trying to accumulate all these artists together and raise funds in the process. Amongst the many of legendary musical names, Sir Elton John being one of them. Don't Go Breaking My Heart featuring Kiki D, Benny and the Jets, I'm Still Standing, Can I Get a Witness, and Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me featuring Wham were the songs that Sir Elton John performed. Rocket Man as well, I almost forgot Rocket Man, and yes, I am very surprised Goodbye Yellow Brick Road was not on this list. Queen was there, can you believe it? Queen, the band that gets associated more than anybody with Live Aid because they absolutely tore the house down. Yes, Queen was there. The funniest and kind of craziest thing that I read about this Queen performance is the fact that some actually forgot that it was a fundraiser and a lot of legendary acts were there, but Queen just did so well that often when you think of Live Aid of 85, they get associated. They're the first thing people think of. They'd perform Hammer to Fall, Crazy Little Thing Called Love, We're the Champions, Radio Gaga, and parts of Bohemian Rhapsody and We Will Rock You. Freddie and Brian would both come out a little later in the show and perform Is This the World That We Created as well. Live Aid can also be attributed to the career highlight of U2 and what really set them off onto a new arc of their career. There's a lot of words you can associate Live Aid with U2, and it's probably bad. Like the word bad, because that's the song they played, in which legendary performance. It was so good they actually had to cut one of their songs out, that being Pride in the Name of Love. But that performance and that concert for U2 is what that set them up. Of course, you can't forget one of the GOATs, Paul McCartney. He was also there. Bob Geldof got him in, and he would perform Let It Be with Alison Moyet, Bob Geldof himself, and Pete Townsend from The Who. The starman, David Bowie, would try to follow Queen after their legendary performance and would actually do very well for himself. It is David Bowie, so it shouldn't be too much of a shock, but following that performance by that band, that seemed to be an impossible task. But David had also not been doing live shows for well over a year at this point. He'd perform Modern Love, TYC 15, Heroes, and Rebel Rebel, and would do just fine. There was actually talks of David and Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones doing a simultaneous duet of Dancing in the Street while David was in Wembley and Mick was in Philly, but they couldn't make it work. And of course, the impossible to forget grand finale of all the artists in one location, George Michael, Bono, U2, Paul McCartney, Freddie Mercury, etc., singing the same song, Do They Know It's Christmas, for a packed Wembley crowd singing along with them. All these years later, I still think it's the greatest collection of artists in one spot ever. I don't think any other concert or any other moment in time in music had more talent on one stage than that right there. These were my favorite performances from this concert. There were more bands. There was Dire Straits was there, The Who was there, The Police. Phil Collins has a legendary story about this entire thing. But in this video, I broke down which ones I thought were the best and which ones were my favorite from this amazing concert. And I think as long as it lives, it'll be the best concert of all time. I don't think any other concert from then or that will happen will ever come to the importance and the just pure excellence of Live Aid 1985.